Good morning, Major. You should be happy. You're finally getting the reinforcements you've been asking for.
Really? The units I tried to requisition?
Not exactly. I'm bringing in another field commander to work in conjunction with you on joint operations.
Wonderful. Does this have anything to do with the information the Bishop gave us on Project GARM?
I'm sorry, the entire matter has been classified need to know, and you already know everything you need to regarding the incident. Ah, Major Thomas, welcome. Do you know Major Parker?
Hello, Director. Pleasure to be serving under you, ma'am. Major Parker, I don't know, ma'am. Except by reputation, of course.
Glad to have you on board for this one, Thomas. You and Major Parker can get acquainted during loading. Now both of you look at your briefing screens. The Order of the New Dawn has established a strong outpost in the region. We must capture the base before further reinforcements are sent in. The base is heavily defended by several Tier 7 Guana turrets.
Oh, wait. You know, one of those T-7s can cut a Pterodyne to shreds faster than you can spit, ma'am.
Yes, quite. However, the turrets require huge amounts of energy to operate, and destroying a power generator within the base will disable them. Major Parker, your task force will be dropped to the east of the base. Your job will be to destroy the power plant. Tactical recommends using the cliffs around the base to your advantage. Major Thomas, 5 minutes after Major Parker's team has been dropped, you will force your way into the base from the west and north.
So it looks like if Major Parker's team fouls up, they'll be shipping me and my boys back in very small boxes.
My people don't foul up, Thomas. Got that?
I sure hope so.
So do I, Thomas. When the turrets are disabled, Major Parker's team will assist you in obliterating the rest of the base. That is all.
Welcome back to Ground Control. Before I get into today's mission, a couple things I forgot to mention previously. One on the naming front is the Astrid, our flagship in orbit. And Astrid is another Scandinavian name, as you might expect, used for a lot of royalty, particularly in Norway. The meaning there is divine strength or divine beauty. So is Craven worshipping their ship? Something to ponder, but not too heavily. And then Bishop Delandra, who we tried and failed to rescue in the last mission, is voiced by Mark Klastorin. Klastorin got his start in the LA Lost series on TV in 1990, had a number of voice acting roles around the time of Ground Control, later was involved in Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and X-Men. Not too long after, unfortunately, he met his demise in 2012 at age 61. This is one of the longest briefings in the campaign, definitely the longest one so far, and of course is the source of untold numbers of bad jokes revolving around Ground Control to Major Tom. And for those of you who don't get that, just listen to the song Space Oddity by David Bowie and you'll understand what I mean. I actually don't think that was intentional though, because it's too subtle for this game, but opinions may diverge on that. Anyway, Major Dwight Thomas certainly kisses ass with the best of them, and because of that, he seems to clearly get on a lot better with VP Hayes than does our character, Sarah Parker. You can see the just abrupt change in tone from Hayes as soon as he joins the briefing. Thomas is also clearly a walking stereotype. Don't even ask me to explain how 400 years from now, people are still using phrases like hoo-wee. That was dated when this game was made, much less now. Dwight Thomas is voiced by David Jeremiah, who began video voice acting work in the late 90s, most notably in X-Wing Alliance. Did some early TV roles in the 2000s, Rugrats and That 70s Show among them. And his last role was in Tekken 7 in 2015, so he appears to have retired from the business. Alright, let's get down to business here. We have light pterodynes. So we're no longer stuck with only infantry. Good movement, fairly good armament, capable of attacking both ground and airborne targets. Still only the one dropship, of course. And these are known as the Jackal. It's their sort of nickname or whatever. You can see their bars here. If you compare them to our infantry, significantly more firepower and armor, a lot more speed, but range is the same. So, once again, we're in surgical strike mode, so we're going to go offensive with our infantry. Again, we do not have any special equipment that we haven't already seen. With the Pterodynes themselves, there's lots of different options we can go, but it seems like since we're going to be in a hurry at the beginning of the mission, we're going to go with speed. So we'll see how well that works out for us. Don't usually choose speed as the option. And then grenade launchers are good against light Pterodynes and infantry. They have depleted uranium rounds, better against heavy armor. They get armor penetration. And in this case, we're assaulting a base, so thematically, I'm going to go with depleted uranium rounds. Headhunters away.
New drop zone. Dropship entering atmosphere.
Of course, there's the base. It's a little dark out.
Mission update. The second strike team will commence their assault on the order base in 5 minutes. You must destroy the order power generator marked on your tactical map before they begin the attack.
Okay, so we're going to show something a little different here, so we're not actually going to do this, but there's the generator. Once this is achieved, Major Thomas Strike Team will destroy the base with our assistance. Okay. So let's take a look at another sort of failure condition and what happens if we do not do anything. We don't hit that power generator and leave Thomas out to dry. 10 seconds left now till they arrive.
Mission update. Major Thomas's force has touched down and will commence their assault in 20 seconds.
And we can follow along with them.
Howdy, Major.
Got main battle
Just sit back and
Pterodynes.
watch us mop up.
Yeah, we'll see about that. And more main battle Pterodynes. Now, Thomas is being favored here for a couple reasons. One, it serves a gameplay purpose. But also, his force won't be destroyed as easily under normal conditions.
Parker, what the hell's going on? Why aren't these turrets down? My men are getting cut to pieces.
Allied Pterodyne.
They sure are. Then it also serves the plot.
Allied Pterodyne
That,
destroyed.
you know, he's the favored son and Sarah Parker is not. And they're not faring too well. They got Hoverdynes.
Allied Pterodyne
Thomas is about to expire.
Mission failed. The second strike team has been destroyed. Mission failed.
Yeah, so that's the way not to do it. This is actually not the easiest way. It's not super obvious, but there's a ramp back here that we can go up. And despite this being the recommended area, it's actually easier to assault the base directly. But we're following our instructions of our superiors. And you are not... Oh, you're still coming. You're just taking your sweet time, aren't you? Sometimes they'll get separated again. You know, subpar pathfinding for the win. But then up here on this cliff, we want to get as close to that generator as possible.
Okay, Commander. Okay, Commander, we're moving out.
And
Order received.
we see nothing from here. We still see nothing.
Commander.
We should be able to see it from here, but we can't. Here comes some
Enemy
enemies.
attacking Squad 3.
Ah, there it is. There's our target. We have other problems, though.
Okay, line formation.
And the infantry is not our only problem. The other problem is that these actually can't hit this. The range is too far.
Enemy attacking
And why
Squad
are you
3.
going over there?
Moving right away, Major.
You're being ridiculous and you're losing me time. I don't think I've ever had the APC go up there before. Yeah, it's just being stupid. Okay. So, seriously, like, I don't think I've ever seen that. Whatever. These guys are gone. And the deal here is you need mortars.
Understood. I'm on my way.
The infantry mortars are the only thing that can be used up here to hit this.
Special weapon. Affirmative. Deploying special weapon.
So they're really hitting that use the mortars thing hard at this point in the game. If you look at how much they're doing, that's 2 damage, that's 3 impacts. Probably need 1 more. And indeed, 4 is not quite enough.
The second strike team will launch their assault. The order power generators must be destroyed before then. Squad 3 taking friendly fire.
5 is, though. We're waiting for the infantry to get lowered.
Squad 3 taking friendly fire. The defense turrets have been disabled. Assist the second strike team.
And now we're going to move back this way, which is actually towards the infantry, but we can't go down the cliff. And the reason we don't care about the infantry, per se... Are you not moving? There we go. But the reason we don't care about them, per se, is they're slow. Took quite a bit of damage there. Let's hit a repair. So, by the time that the infantry would catch up to us, we'd be well into the battle. And we really need to get engaged here. The reason that we need to do that is that Major Thomas isn't all he's cracked up to be, mostly because he's controlled by the AI. Even with the turrets down, he can get himself killed on hard difficulty. Sometimes it will happen and sometimes it won't, but you know what, let's be a little cautious. So this, I think, is our best defensive terrain over here. You can see it's a little bit elevated. We're going to head over this way. Here's some friends. Let's introduce them to our depleted uranium rounds.
Special weapon confirmed.
And once more with feeling.
Enemy
Nope.
attacking Squad 3. Enemy hoverdyne destroyed.
There we go.
Enemy hoverdyne destroyed.
Order understood.
Mission update. Major Thomas's force has touched down and will commence their assault in 20 seconds. Squad 3 recharging.
Let's move in more.
Howdy, Major. You just sit back and watch us mop up.
That'll be the day, Dwight.
Command APC taking friendly fire.
Nope. Come over here.
Enemy
You're gonna hold fire.
Squad 3 recharging. Enemy hoverdyne.
And we need to get in here.
Position acknowledged.
Let's move
Okay, Commander.
right over here in front.
Moving out.
Meanwhile, the rest of you
Enemy
come over this
structure
way.
destroyed. Enemy attacking Squad 1. Squad 1 taking friendly
So what I'm
fire.
trying to do is just get a decent angle to attack here. Oh. We got lovely infantry coming out here to say hello, and so are these guys. But I'm not too worried about
Enemy
them.
attacking Squad 3. Enemy hoverdyne destroyed.
Understood. I'm on my way.
Enemy
And they're trying to
hoverdyne
flank us.
destroyed.
They're not idiots. So let's stay in here and make sure we're repairing.
Squad 1 taking friendly fire. Enemy attacking Squad 3. Squad 3 recharging.
And let's
Enemy
mortar these
hoverdyne
guys.
destroyed.
Deploying special weapon.
Squad 1 taking friendly fire.
And they hit the wall. I thought the mortars would go over the wall in that
Structure
situation.
destroyed. Enemy attacking Squad
So that was
3.
not
Squad
the,
3 recharging.
Most brilliant decision either, and you can see these are getting pounded.
Affirmative. Engaging.
Enemy structure destroyed.
Affirmative.
Enemy attacking Squad 3. Squad 3 recharging. Enemy structure destroyed.
Line formation acknowledged.
Go switch to line here for a bit.
Affirmative. Attacking. Affirmative.
We really need to knock out this
Enemy
infantry.
attacking Squad 3. Squad 3 recharging. Enemy infantry destroyed. Squad 3 taking friendly fire.
Affirmative.
Yeah, let's move you over this way.
Enemy infantry destroyed.
Attention.
So now we got them caught into a nice crossfire.
Is a medical facility. There is no one here except the wounded. We surrender. Repeat. We surrender.
Squad 1 taking friendly fire. Squad 1 taking friendly fire. Enemy structure destroyed.
Okay, let's move you over here.
Squad 1 taking
So that
friendly
Craven
fire.
Hospital making... Craven Hospital. The hospital commander making a very wise decision, clearly.
Okay, Commander.
And now let's get here into the base.
Moving right away. Move order received.
Squad 3 taking friendly fire.
Your target.
You can hold fire for a moment
I'm on my way.
until you get in.
Box formation.
You're going back to box.
Destroyed. Squad 1 taking friendly fire. Squad 1 recharging.
Would you kindly stop firing for a minute? Thank you.
I'm on my way.
So you've got to be really careful of your fire orders. You can see the damage it's taken, but we knocked out that pillbox. Let's get in further.
Moving at once, Major.
And it hasn't gone as well as I would have hoped, but
Acknowledged.
our main goal here is to get in here and engage the enemy.
Away, Major.
And this is where it would have been easier actually to do it this way
Enemy structure
initially.
destroyed.
Let's move you forward.
Squad 3
Free
taking
fire.
friendly fire.
Move order received. Affirmative. We will fire at will.
Because there's just the turrets and the enemies, but
Enemy
you have
structure
time to
destroyed.
defeat those enemies and just come right in here and destroy the power station. Like, you don't even have to use the cliffs. So I don't really like the design of that part.
Attack
You know
order
what?
received.
Go take care of that vehicle. That's just a transporter, but do it anyway. And now we're in mop-up mode.
Squad 3 recharging.
Affirmative. Attacking. Affirmative. Position acknowledged.
Generally a good idea, and you can see these trees do provide good
Enemy
cover,
Hoverdyne destroyed.
Order understood.
but generally a good idea to just move in
Enemy
closer,
structure destroyed.
reasonably close. And here comes Major Thomas's Pterodynes.
Attacking your target.
Enemy structure destroyed.
Attack order received.
And let's take care of that turret.
Okay, Commander.
Again, we want to move
Enemy
in.
structure destroyed.
And our infantry.
Commander.
I think we've got one.
Enemy structure destroyed.
Moving at once, Major.
Let's move over here and
Enemy
repair a
structure
bit.
Destroyed.
Move order received.
And then come in here and take out this factory. And again, dude, that's kind of dangerous.
Move order received.
Just, you don't want them to be super close together.
Attack order received.
So we're just going to clear out what we can.
Moving right away. Move order received.
Send the APC around to repair where needed.
Squad 1 recharging.
Here's the medical facility, and it has plot armor.
Okay, Commander.
You can try to shoot at it if you're, if you're feeling particularly genocide-y or war criminally,
Enemy structure
but you won't get it
destroyed.
down much
Squad
below
1
this.
recharging.
It'll just stop taking damage.
Move order received. Understood. I'm on my way.
Moving at once, Major.
Squad
Now we're
3
just
taking
moving
friendly
forward. What are you... Yeah, see, they're just moving around, shooting
fire. Enemy
randomly,
structure
and
destroyed.
why they would be shooting way over here from there when they've got closer targets, I don't know. But that can be really annoying. You're trying to blow stuff up, and you're just trying to stay out of the way of the ever-aggressive Major Thomas.
Affirmative. Position acknowledged.
Enemy structure destroyed.
Order received.
Hoverdyne Repair Center. That sounds like a good thing to make go away.
Affirmative. Engaging.
Let's do that. So, of course, what we've got here is your general destroy the base deal.
Okay, Commander.
It's our first proper one of those for this campaign.
Attacking your
Enemy
target.
structure destroyed.
Attack order received.
And these containers, of course, go quickly.
Order understood.
How's that Hoverdyne Center going? Yeah, it's
Enemy
still there. It'll be
structure
gone
destroyed.
soon.
Your target. Attack order received.
Let's get rid of a couple
Enemy
more of
structure
these.
Destroyed.
Order understood. Okay.
There's the
Commander.
silo.
Moving out.
And infantry. And, oh, they have another pillbox? Didn't realize we hadn't gotten rid of that yet.
Understood. I'm
And
on my
again,
affirmative.
we're going to want to
Engaging.
Enemy structure
move in
On my way. Move order
closer
received.
to it. I'm purposefully not moving the infantry units together so that I can do a little bit better job of keeping them separate.
Enemy structure destroyed.
Friendly fire is painful on hard difficulty. You do not want to let it happen. And you can see all this over here. This is
Enemy
gone.
structure destroyed.
That's one of their last turrets. The order base is defenseless.
Order received.
Craven will not be
Enemy
denied.
structure destroyed.
Order
this particular piece of the Oracle Dunes. Oh, goody. Here comes Major Thomas.
Destroyed.
Let's knock out this bunker. Perhaps from a bit closer.
Enemy structure destroyed.
And now you just got to sort of figure out what they're going to do and stay away from them so you don't get shot up.
Enemy structure destroyed.
So I'm backing off over here because they want this area and they want to fire. And they will not look out for you. They do not care what you're doing.
Enemy structure destroyed.
No way. I can't. Affirmative. Position acknowledged.
Yep, you can't move on top of the debris itself,
Order received.
so it's a little finicky.
Enemy structure
Command
destroyed.
center. We definitely don't want that to still be around, do we?
Attack order received.
Let's get rid of it.
I'm on my way.
And let's see, let's move. Well, where are you going, Major?
Squad
And look at Thomas. See, he took a lot of damage. So we were not far from being too slow. This got a little more dicey than I wanted it to, especially the way they had us bottled up at the entrance when I misfired with the mortar. So, oh, you jerks. See, I'm trying to avoid them.
People, that's
They
it.
just randomly
We've
move
won.
around.
Surround that field hospital and... The hell was that? Major Thomas, why are your men shooting? Secure those weapons!
Sorry, Parker. The only good order trooper's a dead one.
But they are surrendering. Major Thomas, stand down.
Sorry, darling. That building just sort of blew up, didn't it? What crappy construction.
You utter pig. This is not over.
But it actually is over because that's the end of the mission. And so that's the purpose, really. The purpose is for us to see that Major Thomas is a royal grade letter 1 jerk. It has... the base assault is a little bit long-winded, but that's kind of actually not the point. It's just sort of the sideshow that you can see Dwight Thomas's true colors. Didn't take him long, did it?
Mission accomplished. Enemy structure destroyed.
I cannot believe Thomas butchered those men, and I let him do it. What the hell has happened to me? I signed on to get off Earth, and now I sit and watch wounded men get gunned down in their beds. And that witch Hayes has the nerve to give him an initiative commendation for the mission. I'll even up the score with Thomas someday. I swear I will. I don't care how much the company loves him. Of course, right behind him is a line of other brutal bastards all wagging their tails for the company. Am I going to take them out too? When it comes right down to it, am I any better? Some days I find myself thinking the Dawnies are right. The hand of God should come down and sweep away the unworthy. We deserve it.
So, Major Parker not reacting too well to these events. Apparently she's not down with war crimes. I love the way he says things like witch and bastards. Just one of those things where you can just feel the hatred in her soul. And I think she's about to be fitted for a straitjacket, which is unfortunate because we're only in the middle of Act 1 of this story. Let's take a look at what our troops did. Major Parker, still inexperienced, no kills, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, we kept them out of range. Storm and Gormans got 7 buildings destroyed, 6 kills, field excellence, and second field excellence award, and promoted to veteran. That's the 3rd of the 5 ranks, so very respectable now infantry group. These are not green recruits anymore. The Green Berets also veteran, as they didn't do as well, but 3 kills in 4 buildings. And our headhunters are now available for renaming as well, our first Pterodyne unit. They 8 kills, 16 buildings, aggressive and destroyer, and rank up to experience, so that's pretty excellent. Coming up next, we'll see if Major Sarah Parker can maintain her tenuous grip on her sanity. Till then, thanks for watching. More Ground Control coming up soon.